Good evening, folks, and a hearty welcome to our drive-in theater.
Keelan Cole with his third
Defender Josh Norman to his backside.
All right, welcome to episode 4 of Pulp Fantasy. I'm your host, Scott Rinear. You can find me mostly on Twitter at MunderDifflinFF. So go check out my column series with In Between Media. It's called The Mondays. And check out the rest of the solid content at IBT Media. A lot of good stuff happening there. And I'll be your best friend if you go hit that subscribe button at this IBT YouTube channel. So for episode 4, I have a great show for you. But, of course, I'm going to say that. I'm not going to tell you my show sucks. Today, I'm going to be talking about 2 movies. First one being Karate Kid. Second one being True Lies. My third comparison, I'm going to go ahead and leave that shrouded in mystery for right now. Pretty excited about it. I think it's pretty funny, but I'm not going to give anything away until we get there. So let's get started.
Right here.
First, Antonio Brown. So since you brought up Antonio Brown, what do I think of Antonio Brown? I'm not a fan of Antonio Brown, really in any context at this point. Fantasy-wise, he's older, his production's fallen off, but to me, he's also a straight-up just dirtbag. There's his legal issues, which I'm not going to get into right now. And then there's a rap song he made called Whole Lot of Money, which somehow made my eyes and ears bleed simultaneously. There was some talk about Russell Wilson really wanting him in Seattle this year and last year, and as a Seahawks fan, no, thank you. I do not want that noise on the team. He's not someone I'm drafting in redraft or dynasty, really, no matter what. That said, Antonio Brown did help me, in all fairness, win a championship a few years back. I was able to draft him as a third rounder right before he took off as the consensus wide receiver 1. So he helped me win a championship, and he was very electric to watch. I have a quick little story. One of my most memorable fantasy comebacks involved Antonio Brown. This was December 6, 2015, Sunday Night Football, Steelers versus Colts. I was down by like 4 points to my brother, and with only Antonio Brown left. The Steelers were up 38-10 late in the fourth, so I figured, they're not going to pass it anymore. I'm done. But Antonio Brown decides to return a punt, kind of like a dick, up 38-10, but decides to return it nonetheless, takes it to the house, and does this jump hug of the goalpost, which people might remember. I get 6 points for those return yards, and I beat my brother in the process. So also remember about Antonio Brown. He went 195th overall in the 2010 draft. To be honest, I think he's probably the best 6th round pick the NFL has ever seen. Good God, Tom. It was just a joke at your expense. We get it. You're really, really good at throwing footballs. Jesus Christ, Tom. We get it. You've won a shitload of Super Bowls.
My favorite ring. We always said, and I said always, the next one. The next one's the best.
Christ, stick, God damn it, for the love of hell, Tom. Okay, I need to calm down. Let's see, where were we? Oh yeah, I was going to start with Karate Kid. So we'll start with the 126-minute martial arts documentary Karate Kid, released in 1984. 1984, that's almost 40 years ago now. Holy shit, I'm old. Regardless, this was a classic movie from my childhood where Ralph Macchio plays Daniel Russo, the head villain of the film, and Pat Moriarty plays Miyagi. He's kind of a karate version of Obi-Wan Kenobi, with the difference being that he beats the shit out of high school kids. All joking aside, there's an incredible video on YouTube. It was by J. Matthew Turner from 2015-ish, where he explains why Daniel Russo is the villain of Karate Kid. It's hilarious. It's well worth the watch. And I'm going to go ahead and put the link in the comments of this video. So go check it out. I highly recommend it. All right, more plot. Let's see. Karate Kicks Elizabeth Shue, shout out Adventures in Babysitting. Wax on, wax off, possibly the dumbest overused movie quote ever, sweep the leg. And we find ourselves in the All Valley Karate Tournament, which I'm sure took them a long time to think of that name, with Daniel Russo in the final match against the hero of the movie, Johnny, played by a guy. I haven't seen Cobra Kai yet, in case you're asking. So the pinnacle, the climax, the apex. Next point wins between Johnny and Daniel Russo. Daniel forms into a ridiculous swan shape to provide the finishing blow. So we all know that. This is an iconic scene. It's a representation of the bad guy winning in the end. But what most people don't know is how many takes it took to get that climactic scene just right. Lucky for you, I was able to acquire one of the unused takes.
Body bag! Yeah! All right. Feet. Warning for illegal contact with the knee. Johnny! No mercy! No mercy! Play the fish, Johnny! Finish him!
Of Spencer Lanning right there.
All right, moving right along. Our next comp takes us back to the 1994 blockbuster hit, True Lies, one of my favorite cheesy action films of all time. Directed by cheesy blockbuster movie extraordinaire James Cameron, or Jimmy Cam, as I like to call him. Oh, side note, The Abyss is a very underrated movie. This movie stars Arnold Schwarzenegger, Jamie Lee Curtis, who actually was nominated for an Oscar in this movie, Bill Paxton, rest in peace, and Tom Arnold. Oh yeah, the 90s, Tom Arnold was a thing. Anyway, what I didn't realize about this movie until recently is it has some extremely odd connections to a couple of specific plays that occurred in the NFL. You know, sometimes the universe, I feel like, plays tricks on us, and I think this might be one of those moments. So, for the NFL side of this strange connection, journey with me back to week 16 of 2015. So we're back in 2015, like Antonio Brown's punt return. Rams versus Seahawks. There was a memorable moment involving the Rams punter, Johnny Hecker.
Johnny Hecker, the Ram punter.
We see him take a shot here, Clifford.
Kind of funny. Much like the 1,500 followers access to rare NFL footage I discussed during episode 3, I also have access to super duper slow-mo footage. Mo so slow, it's not available to the general public. So, on this Hecker play, this initial Hecker play, check out what actually happens in super duper slow-mo.
But it's not enough. If you really want to close escrow, well, you gotta have an angle.
Suppose you have an angle.
It's killer. I mean, look at me. I'm not that much to look at. No, I can be honest. But I got them lining up. And not just the either. Well, some are.
So what's the angle?
Oh, no. Sorry. Trade secret.
Now, later in this same Week 16 game, the Seahawks were able to get their revenge.
He's going to avoid any kind of penalty. They saw what he did last time. Look, they want revenge.
But check out this second play in super duper slow-mo.
I have to lie to women to get laid, and I don't score much. I got a little. It's pathetic. Oh, God. Oh, would a spy pee himself, huh? Oh, God. Please, I'm not worth a bullet. Oh, mercy, sir.
Get the out of here, huh?
All right, here we are. Comparison 3. All right, so we've arrived at our mystery comparison. As we all know, fantasy football can be extremely frustrating at times. One of my moments came in 2016, week 16, Washington football team versus Chicago Bears. I ended up losing my matchup that week by 5 points, championship matchup. I had Washington football team running back Rob Kelly in my lineup. 19 carries, 76 yards, not great, not terrible. However, Washington football team had 4 rushing touchdowns on that day. None of them went to their lead back, and I lost by 5. So this was bad. But this does not compare to the loss that Matthew Berry suffered in 2018. TMR went on a now famous rant about the loss and the extremely heartbreaking fashion in which he lost, mainly due to Alfred Morris with the San Francisco 49ers at the time. Now, we've all seen the televised version of this rant, but unknown to most, That was the edited version. I won the full raw video of it in a poker game, and so I figured this was a perfect place to share it with you. So here is the full uncut raw footage of the TMR rant.
So Raheem Mostert, off of a 5-carry, 11-yard fumble performance from the week before, gets all this run, and Alfred Morris.
I won! It's an Xmas miracle! Oh, this miracle smells like poo. Shit! Did you lose? You shut your...
But no, of course, because you know what happens? The 49ers have a holding penalty, and it gets called back, and it's its only snap.
Mouth! Every year I set this league up. Every year, and I never win. This was the year! Bullshit!
I dominated this draft. And I need one stupid point because the guy against me starts Tyrell Williams. Who starts Tyrell Williams? But this guy does.
You, Taco, and Ruxin, stupid Wiseman, stupid eggs! My eggs! Stupid! Daddy,
stop!
So you did not win that matchup.
I did not win that matchup. I'm praying for a stat correction. It's the most frustrating loss. I've been playing fantasy sports for 30 years. And it is the most frustrating loss I've ever had in my life. 1 point.
I gotta say, I feel like I just won twice.
Phillip Rivers is going to throw it on first down. They're going to go deep down the sideline. Got his man open and he hits him. This is Tyrell Williams for 75 yards and a touchdown.
And yes, that is the exact Tyrell Williams touchdown that helped sink TMR. October 21st, 2018, I do my homework. And to Matthew Berry, who I can only assume sets weekly alerts on his phone so as not to miss any Pulp fantasy episodes, I had a lot of fun making that clip, but it's all love. During that rant, you just happened to be on TV, and it's a moment we all go through. So much respect for that. Okay, that wraps up another episode of Pulp Fantasy. I super appreciate anyone who takes the time to watch these. I just realized how easy it is to chop up clips on iMovie to make clips for this episode. So I have a feeling it's only going to get better because it's a lot of fun and I like nerding out on it. So also a reminder, please give the IBT YouTube channel a subscribe. That would be great. All right, peace and love, y'all.
Less people want to see them, then I'll bring them out for that. But I don't. They're so big. They're actually kind of gaudy and they attract a lot of attention if you're wearing them around because they're enormous.
Whole lot of money, whole lot of money, got a whole lot of money, whole lot of money.